And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a serious episode of This Is Our Life. So I'm watching over here PBS Nova, Mind of a Rampage Killer, and they're dealing with the kids. And I was listening to this one kid. It's about 52 minutes into it, just a little bit before 52 minutes into it. Think what I used to be like. And one kid was saying, you know, you have one of these episodes, you have this rage that you black out, you know, I mean, it's like you don't remember it. You know, I mean, I'm 50 years old now. But when I was a teenager, and on into my 20s and even my 30s, I felt I had no control over anything, and I had all this anger in me. And I look at what the researchers have found, and having my mother was very cold. She wasn't there for me. She was more concerned with going out to the bars and clubs and whatnot and spending time with her friends than with my sister and myself. As some people say, but for the grace of God go I. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I wonder if in one of my rages, there was somebody that I hurt, and somebody that was very dear to me, and because in the institutions I grew up in, let me tell you, you don't have much in the way of friends, not true friends. And there was this guy, and I turned around and I punched him. I mean, they took him to the hospital. They thought I broke his jaw. Thankfully I hadn't, but in the institutions and even at home, I felt I had no control, I had no say in anything. Now, the only way I could get my point across was with violence. There were other times I felt that, like in middle school, I felt the girls liked the guys who were tough, so I was going to be tough. Well, let's just say I got permanently expelled from middle school for running around punching people. People had done nothing to me, by the way. Absolutely nothing to me. And then there was the aspect of the sexual abuse, and I was like, nobody's going to hurt me again. And I was going to be, a tough. That way, no one would even consider me as a target. But that actually didn't help, believe it or not. Because most of the time I wasn't like that. Most of the time I was a good kid. But then something would happen to my brain. And I would just lose it. And afterward I would just go to sleep. And I'd feel bad, but like that kid says, what can you do about it? You've already done it. You can't change it. The thing is, it's like I black out. I don't remember 90% of the stuff I did. There's a reason I like to stay calm. There's a reason I like to stay in a calm situation. There's a reason I don't like being in a city. There's a reason I don't like being around a lot of people. There's the communication issue. I mean, I'm hard of hearing, so I don't understand a lot of what goes on around me. I need to be in a situation where I can actually understand what's going on. I have a hard time with social cues, if you will. I don't do good in areas that have a large population. I mean, even to me, Keene, because of the college, has a large population. It's noisy. If the kids weren't noisy, maybe it wouldn't be so bad there, but you have all these visual distractions. I mean, I'm glad I'm not like I was, but trying to figure out how and when I changed. What happened? How did I change? I think part of it was coming to the understanding that I'm just never going to have control over everything in my life. The only thing I have control over is how I act and react. I have no control over anyone else. I mean, I didn't like the abuse, and I wanted to, hey, you're not going to hurt me anymore. I wanted to teach them a lesson, but there were also times I just wanted to get my point across, and I felt the only way to get my point across was through force. Now, mind you, I haven't been in a fight since high school, and that was over 30 years ago, because it wasn't even my last year in high school. It was before that. It was when I was locked up. And I'll tell you though, in those places don't help. Those places you have no control, and things are just freaking random. The staff do what they want, when they want, how they want, where they want. That doesn't help matters. So frankly, watching these kids in it's prison, okay? I mean, they're not calling it that, but that's what it is. When you don't trust anyone, when everyone that you're supposed to be able to trust lies to you, when they use you, lie to you, just abuse you, and it's like a kid can only take so much, and so thankfully, to some degree, to some degree, I'm thankful that I was, to a large extent, a loner, because if I would have, what are their names? Darren Klebold and I forget the other kid's name. If I would have had somebody like that egging me on, who also was in the same kind of situation I was in, who knows what I might have done. Anyway, I just want to tell you kids out there that are going through this that you need to hang in there. I'm not going to sit here and tell you things will or will not get better, because I don't know. I don't know your life. I don't know what's in the future. Hopefully things will, but you're going to have to do some things to make things better in your life. You don't want to wind up in the places I was in growing up. Anyway, I don't know what else I can say. I mean, I watched this video and I'm like, oh gosh, that could have been me. And to a large extent, that was me.